Hey, Nico. All right, so let's get to know 2.3, 2.4 today. So last time we were together, we did 2.2, and I'll get you to send me an audio of you singing that for me so I can hear you. All right, so 2.3, we have one sharp up here. And that, if that was a note, that would be on the line of F. So what that tells us is we are working within the key of, this is really, really close, it's the key of G. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp is the key that has, the major key that has only one sharp in it. Don't worry too much. I'm just going to kind of say these things. With time, stuff will become more and more meaningful to you, but so that means that that our G will be do, A is re, B is me, and so on and so forth. So this first note that we have here, G, we're going to sing that as do. And remember in this chapter that with the, to make it a little more simple, they will never leap over a note. So they'll never like, if you see, if the G is happening, the next note it will either repeat a G, or it'll be an A, or it'll be or it could be like next door going down, F sharp. So we'll never like jump. You'll never like sing a G and then like the next note will be D. It's either the same note, next door, up or down. So we go up on the second note to A. So that's going to be sang as re. And then we've got B, so that's sang as me in this key. And then we've got C, so that's sang as fa. B again, so that's going to be me. A again, see, we see it over here, re. Then we've got G, that's our do. Then we go the note in front of G, which is F sharp in this key, so that's going to be T. And then G against do, A is re. Then we have B, which is me, C, which is fa, D, sol, and then C again, fa, B is me, C is fa, D is sol, and then we've got fa, me, re, ending on do. These are always going to end on do. Okay. Rhythm. So time signature. Let's review that. The top number tells us how many beats per measure. Measures are our little boxes here. I think you already know that stuff. So that we have a number 2. That tells us that every measure must somehow equal 2. That is the rules. We will not deviate from that unless otherwise noted, which we're never going to see time signature changes in these exercises that we're doing, especially the beginning ones. Okay, so we start on beat 1. This gets held for the whole duration of beat 1. And since we're seeing eighth notes, I'm going to go ahead and write in the ands. The reason why I like to do this is to hold space. So this bugs some people, this doesn't bug other people. I'm going to keep explaining it to you. So once we see eighth notes, we have to count 1 and 2 and in this instance, because it's only 2 beats per measure, we will be counting for every measure 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and to represent that eighth notes are happening. So this first quarter note gets held for the entire duration of 1 beat. But I'm going to put the little and in there to hold the space. It helps most people, especially in the beginning when you're learning and practicing counting rhythms, to hold that space. So like if we were playing it or singing it, we would hold it for the entire 1 and. So it'd be like do, and then these are eighth notes. So this first eighth note gets beat 2 and the second eighth note gets and. That's how that works. It's going to be the same feeling over here where we have 1 and on this quarter. And this gets 2 and this gets and. That slur is getting in the way. This is a slur, this phrase marker. This gets 1, 2, and This gets held for 1, and then this is an 8th rest, which gets held for the duration of 2. But I'll go ahead and say the and. Once again, it's to hold this space. This is like getting teeny tiny. Hopefully you can see it. All right, then look at this. We've got a real familiar pattern here. Like, so 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and. Okay, coming back to our pattern. Quarter note, 1, and. These 8th notes get a half of a beat each. So this gets beat 2, this gets beat and. Oh, quarter note again, big surprise. So this is 1 and. Oh boy, 2 8th notes, so this is 2 and. Oh, for the first time we see a whole measure of 8th notes. So now you really see how 8th notes get counted. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Sorry, I ran into the tripod. This gets beats 1 and, this gets beats 2 and. Okay, so this would sound like, I'm just gonna say the words and just try and represent like when they're happening on the beat. So this is like 1 or do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, rest, rest. Okay, and I was also with my clicking, aka my tapping on my leg, I was also counting in the 8th notes. So this one's going to sound like, let's get some audio cracking here. All right, here's what it sounds like. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And in the audio I send you, it's going to be played exactly in that octave. I'm playing it 1 octave lower than it's actually written. And I sang in the octave that you will be singing. So match the piano and match me on that one. Okay, now 2.4. See, we got 1 sharp again. So that tells us, just like the 2.3 above it, that tells us that's going to be in the key of G major, because G major is the only major key to have only 1 sharp, and on that is an F sharp. So for solfeges, we start on the G, which is going to be our do, and then A is re, and then B is mi. In fact, you know what I should do? I should write out the solfeges up here for you, so I'll do that. So we've got do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And in the key of G major, G is the do, A is the re, B gets mi, C is fa, sol, D, or D is sol, B, C, D, what's the next letter? E for la, F sharp is our T, and it all goes back to do. And I wrote a D instead of a G because I was thinking about do, but that should actually be a D. Okay, I mean a G. Jeez Louise. Okay, back down here. So we've got do, re, mi, and then we got a C, so that would be a fa. We've got a B again, that's a mi, and then we've got an A, that's a re. Re again, or see it repeats. All right, then we got a B, which is a mi, a C is a fa, a D is a sol, a C is a fa, and a B is a what? A mi. Okay, what the heck is this? That's a C. So that's gonna be a fa. And then we got a B, that's a mi, an A, that's a re, a B, that's a mi, and a C, that's a fa, a D, that's a sol, a C, that's a fa, A B, that's a me. A C, that's a fa. A B, that's a me. An A, that's a ray. And it always gonna end on do. It always says go back to do. Okay, rhythm. Now, we have this thing, C. Now this is stupid. C stands for common time. Common time, AKA 4/4. So this is common time. I mean, it's aptly named because 4/4 is the most common time signature. But it's kind of dumb that they're like, oh, go write it both ways, but whatever. Okay, so this, the melody starts on what we call the pick up note. So we're like, how can you possibly have one beat in this measure? Because it has to be 4 beats in each measure, but it's made up down here. It's how they make this little layout neat and tidy. So melody often starts on the beat of like the last measure. That's like when you start singing. It is so common, just like common time. So and we don't need to count ands because there's no eighth notes in this. So this will come in on beat 4. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Or if I were to actually just count it, it would be like, so I'm gonna clap now when the beats occur, okay? So with my mouth, I'm gonna count to 4. I will be the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's write in these beats. So this starts on beat 4. This is kind of confusing how I wrote that over there. Let's change that really fast. Oh my gosh, pens are falling everywhere. Thank you, erasable pens. Brought to you by Friction by Pilot. Not brought to you, but you know what, Friction by Pilot. If you guys want to sponsor me, that's cool because I pimp your pens all the time. All right, that's up here, aka 4/4. Okay, so that starts on beat 4. These are all quarter notes. They get 1 beat each. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Dotted half. That, remember the dot rule is the dot adds half, again, the note's value to the note. So this is a half note. Half notes are held for 2 beats. Half of 2 is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this gets held for the duration of 3. This gets beat 4. All quarter notes. They each get 1 entire beat. Ooh, dotted half again. So that's gonna get 3 beats. Quarter note falls on beat 4. Second line, we keep going because we don't have the little end bar, so we know it's a 2-line song. Oh look, quarter notes. The rhythm on this one is pretty straightforward. 2 half notes, those get 1 beat each. This gets held for beats 1 and 2. This gets beats 3 and 4. Ooh, quarter note down again. And then we end on a dotted half, which equals 3. Once again, 1, 2, 3 plus 1 equals 4. That's how they make this follow the rule. Neat and tidy. What does it sound like? All right, I'll sing it with you. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re. Re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi. Fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, fa. Mi, re, do. And you know, as a singing teacher, I forgot to breathe during that, so I'm going to recommend you breathe during that. All right, have fun with these guys. I'll send you the audio as well.